Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Women Who Rock Investigate, where branding just got even better for women. Our media source provides case studies in the areas of health, policy and government, human resources, and more. Our experts are handpicked with credible information to validate the latest in these studies. Join us each Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time after Women Who Rock with Success. Now, let's go to the show.
And good morning and welcome to Women Who Rock with Success Investigates. And thank you for tuning in with us on today. And this is our show host, Miss Diane Winbush. And this is a new brand that we have launched out for women that they can be able to hear expert testimonies and resources and tips in regards to the latest case studies. So on today, we have Dr. Yelena, that is our guest today, and we're going to be talking about IV therapy. And this is something new. This is something that I've never heard of, but it's kind of intriguing and exciting. So just get ready, buckle up, and so we can learn a little bit more about IV therapy. So good morning, Dr. Yelena, and welcome to the broadcast on today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, and so tell us a little bit about you before you got into the medical field, and what was your passion that drove you to practicing medicine?
Well, I was always very interested in health and wellness. Growing up in Europe, practicing herbalism and natural medicine was kind of very standard in most families, so I believe I developed my interest quite early. And then when my family moved to Canada, I discovered that naturopathic medicine was actually a profession here. And as soon as I knew about that, I knew that that's what I wanted to do. So I was always very interested in helping the body heal in the most natural, non-invasive way.
Absolutely. So is this something that you perhaps maybe had desired to do as maybe like a child? I think one of our guests that we had, I don't know, about a couple of weeks that was on the broadcast, they were sharing with the audience as to how they were trying to do an examination on their brother when they were little or something like that. So that kind of compelled them to know that that was their field of, of their desire for something in the future. So I guess I just wanted to ask.
I guess I have a little bit of a comparable story. I spent a lot of time with my grandmother and her friends when I was little, so she would watch me. And, elderly people typically have a lot of ailments and aches and pains. Not all, but, it happens. And she would tell me about various plants that she found growing around our garden. And she would say, if you put this leaf on the arthritic joints, it takes away the pain. So then I would go and I would pick these plants, and when her and her friends get together, I was small, probably like 5 or 6 at the time, I would bring them these plants and apply them to their knees, and they would all laugh and find it very cute. But for me, it was just very fascinating how, something in the natural world can have that type of an effect on the human body. So from then on, I always was very fascinated by that.
Absolutely, because we start out when we're young on something, and then later on we perhaps maybe find out that this is something that was there all along. We just did not, I guess, actually didn't know it was there or what have you. So, great response. And so, tell us some of the strategies that you would maintain to meet your goals in an effort as a physician.
Oh, well, a lot of different goals and strategies. You know what? It is a very lengthy road to become a physician, but I always knew that that's what I wanted to do. When I was in university, I was majoring in biology, and I knew I wanted to do something medical. I actually happened to get a job as a receptionist at that time in a naturopathic clinic. And at that point, I knew that there was a different way. So it was medicine, but medicine from a different perspective. And I knew that that's what it was what I really wanted to do, a little bit of a alternative or complementary style of medicine rather than the traditional allopathic medical model. It really suited my knowledge, skill set, and passion. And from then on, so from 4 years of, undergraduate, you have to go through another 4 years of naturopathic medical school, pass all your boards, do practicals. So it is a long road, as most people know. It's not short to become a doctor, but it's definitely very well worth it.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about Timeless Health.
Well, Timeless Health Clinic is a clinic that I founded actually very shortly after graduating and getting my license. I always knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur as well as a doctor, and this was a perfect way for me to combine those two passions. My mother was actually also an entrepreneur, so I knew that that's what I wanted to do. So I opened up Timeless Health Clinic shortly after graduating, and it started off very small. It was just myself. I was the doctor, I was the receptionist, I was the manager. It was very small, and of course. And then over time, we became, thankfully, more popular. More people could reach us, and it's grown in practice and volume, and we're here almost 8 years later. So that's how it began.
Okay, great. And so we're going to get into the meat of the actual segment, and that is in regards to IV therapy. Now, when I go to or have went, let's say it that way, when I have went to the hospital, whether it was the ER in the past or what have you, we get the IV hooked up to us. No one ever sits down and explains it in detail as to what it is. We know it's just IV. So share with us as the audience in regards to IV therapy. Take us through the terms and what it means and the purpose of it and the benefits of it.
Of course. So at Timeless Health Clinic, our special focus is IV vitamin therapy. So that is our probably most popular treatment that we do. A lot of people are not familiar with what this is. So you may be familiar, like you mentioned, with hospital IV. So when you are at the hospital, there are various IV fluids. It could be just fluids that you're receiving or a medication mixed in with the fluids for various needs. When I talk about IV therapy, I'm talking about vitamin nutrient IV therapy. So instead of receiving a medication via IV, you would be receiving things such as vitamin C, B vitamins, calcium, magnesium, different types of amino acids via IV. So they're not per se medications, but they are more nutrients and vitamins. And this is actually not a very new therapy. Many people are just hearing about it now because it's becoming a little bit more well-known in the media. You might have seen some celebrities that are, posting Instagram pictures of themselves getting a vitamin drip. But this practice has been around probably for about 50 years now. It started with Dr. Myers out of Baltimore, and he developed something called a Myers cocktail, so named after Dr. Myers. And what he would do is he would mix a cocktail of vitamins, usually including vitamin C, B vitamins, selenium, zinc. He never actually wrote down his exact formula, so there's some variation on what exactly it contained. And he would treat his various patients with it. So he found that it treated people with great results such as fibromyalgia, headaches, chronic fatigue, colds and flus, even things such as anxiety and depression. So he found that it was quite effective for a variety of patients, and he was doing this over a number of years. And then after that, I believe It was documented by Dr. Alan Gaby, who wrote some textbooks on its use and as well as on nutritional medicine in general. And it has been practiced by naturopathic physicians or complementary physicians for a number of decades before it really became well known now. So there is a really great track record of its use and its safety. So it's not some newfangled New Age trend. So essentially what it involves and why you would want to receive IV vitamin therapy is, like I mentioned, it is the intravenous, so IV stands for intravenous, administration of vitamins, nutrients, amino acids, antioxidants, directly into the bloodstream via the vein. And why this has been found to be so successful is because when you receive an infusion of nutrients via the vein, you are essentially bypassing the digestive tract. When you take vitamins orally, such as, you're taking your daily multivitamin by mouth, some of it, most of it, in fact, is typically not very well absorbed because depending on the state of your digestive system, many of us experience various digestive ailments. Your body is just not able to absorb the full dosage that is in that capsule. So the IV vitamin therapy is a very great option for people with digestive issues, such as ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, IBS, which is very common, so irritable bowel syndrome, or just those people that have sensitive stomach and can't tolerate, various vitamins when taken by mouth. So that's one reason to receive it through the vein. Another reason is we can give very different dosages in IV than you would be able to tolerate by taking by mouth. So a great example of this would be vitamin C. There has been quite a number of scientific papers published on the use of IV vitamin C for patients with cancer. And unfortunately, you're just not able to take by mouth the dosages of vitamin C that you would be required to take, as cited in those papers, to achieve the desired effect. But we are able to get to that level, so it usually is about 50, 75, 100 grams of vitamin C. You can definitely get to that level through intravenous administration, but you would never be able to take that many capsules. Just being physically impossible. So the benefits are you're bypassing the digestive tract, so all of the vitamins and nutrients are infused into the bloodstream directly. So you're not losing anything by inefficient absorption. You're able to get a lot higher dosages of some nutrients that you would never be able to take orally. And essentially, you are receiving all of that in your IV drip bag. So it has pretty immediate effects on most people receiving this. And the IV vitamin drips can be modified in dosage as well as which vitamins go into it. So you would need to see a naturopathic doctor that is, very well versed in the IV therapy and what nutrients at what dosages would be suitable for you. And you can get a custom IV mix of different vitamins that are specific to what your health concerns are. So it's not necessary to have, a severe health condition. A lot of healthy people choose to receive this just as an overall vitamin boost, especially in the wintertime. We're all lacking a little bit in certain nutrients. It can definitely help improve overall energy levels. So there's many people, broad spectrum of people that can benefit from this therapy.
Oh, wow, absolutely. Because as I, read some of your descriptions and what have you, I see that the drip can be used as, as something as a B vitamin solution and different other types of B12 is not an issue. B12 is something that individuals take to be able to, I guess, boost their metabolism. But in regards to obesity, and that's something that I would like to for you to be able to share with the audience and things like that, because women are the more, I would say, has the issue with the elevation of weight gain and weight loss, and then sometimes individuals are right there in the middle of the borderline in between. So share with the audience of how this would be beneficial for those that are suffering or coping with obesity.
Right. So it can definitely help with metabolism and maintaining a healthy weight. My caveat is you still need to do all of the things that you need, such as diet and exercise. So it is definitely not a magic pill, unfortunately. That doesn't exist in terms of weight loss. However, many of the nutrients, we do have a specific weight management IV drip formula. So many of the nutrients that are included in that formula are targeting specifically carbohydrate metabolism as well as blood sugar balance, which are very important for maintaining a healthy weight. So you mentioned vitamin B12. Which is one of the star nutrients of that IV drip, which is very helpful for energy production. So we need to have great energy in order to be active as we need to be to maintain the healthy weight. That IV drip also has chromium, which is a mineral which is very helpful for pre-diabetics and diabetics at managing blood sugar levels, and even people with normal blood sugar to maintain their normal blood sugar, as well as vitamin B6. So the combination of a couple of those different nutrients are really targeting improved metabolism overall, as well as blood sugar management, and this can help in weight loss efforts for sure. However, it does need to be not a standalone weight solution, of course.
Okay, great. That's a great response. So let's go to the cosmetic side of it, because women, a lot of women in the age of 50, at the age of at the age of 45, all the way back, whether it's African American or whether it's Caucasian or whether it's Hispanic women, because a lot of times you'll see the Hispanic culture, they'll go in there and they'll I'm not for sure what the terminology is for it, but they'll go in there and have the eyebrows done, where they don't have to go back and do it again for another 2 years or what have you, and they'll go in there and get that all worked up. So when it comes to anti-aging, which I know that the women is going to love this information, tools, and resources, how beneficial is the IV in regards to that? Take along, individuals, we see all of the commercials on television where they're coming out with the serums for, oil of Olay and for CoverGirl and what have you. How beneficial would this be for the women that are concerned or conscientious about their wrinkles not showing up, or they're trying to avoid or prohibit the wrinkles and what have you? How can this IV therapy benefit for the anti-aging women?
Well, anti-aging is one of our kind of most popular IV drips. It is actually very beneficial for anti-aging. And there are just so many different nutrients and antioxidants that we can use in IV therapy that can improve overall, not only just overall body health, but skin health specifically. So we do have a specific anti-aging IV, which is targeted towards improving collagen production. So it has higher levels of vitamin C, as well as it has biotin in it, which is very helpful for hair, skin, and nails. You might have seen it in some supplements or oral capsules, as well as different amino acids that are specifically targeting collagen production. And as we might have heard, collagen, we tend to lose collagen as we get older, unfortunately, and that's what is really driving the aging process showing up on the face. That IV drip also has higher levels of something called glutathione, and glutathione is a little bit of a superstar antioxidant. So we all make glutathione naturally in the liver, and it's something that helps your liver detoxify pollutants, chemicals, different toxins in the environment. However, this glutathione gets used up when we are detoxifying. So we all live in a little bit of a toxic world, unfortunately, with all the pollution around. Our glutathione levels could all use a little bit of help. So when we infuse the glutathione intravenously, we definitely boost the levels of glutathione in the body. And this strong antioxidant helps reverse some of the damaging effects on the skin as well as on the body as a whole that we may experience from sun damage, pollution, the environment, various stressors on the skin. So specifically for anti-aging, that combined with vitamin C as well as different other antioxidants in the IV drip is really anti-aging from the inside out. When we apply various serums to the skin, it of course has the direct effect on the skin, but it is a temporary effect, as most of us are familiar with. With the IV, that magnifies your anti-aging efforts with anti-aging from the inside out. So it's supporting whole body anti-aging, not just the skin. But of course, it is very helpful for the skin staying youthful and glowy, as we all would like it to be forever.
Absolutely. Wow, this is very, very interesting. And as you stated before, this is something that is not new, is not something that is just now trending. This is something that has been out almost perhaps maybe 50 years. It's just now, I guess a certain demographics or certain locations or areas are just now finding out about it. But it's very, very interesting in regards to this product. So we're going to go also switch to the, insurance, billing, and finance portion of how individuals, entrepreneurs, the audience, and listeners can be able to afford this. Does many insurances, do you all accept many insurances, or is this a paid out of pocket, or how does the expense portion work for this type of IV therapy?
Well, we're located in Canada, so our insurance model is a little bit different than the U.S. We do have health care that, covers many treatments. However, this is not something that would fall under a provincial health care plan, as it is more of a alternative or complementary treatment. So, but we do have quite a number of insurances that this treatment falls under for coverage under people's benefits for naturopath coverage. Because it is administered by naturopathic doctors in the clinic, it is considered a naturopathic service. So we do have extended health care plans that many people have from their employers, which have quite a bit of naturopathic coverage. So for some who do not have insurance, this would be, of course, an out-of-pocket expense. However, there are many insurance plans that would cover it under naturopath benefits. We don't direct bill insurances, so it would be something that a patient would receive an invoice for and then claim reimbursement from their insurance company.
Wow, that is still awesome. It's still a lucrative investment. I would like to advise the audience that's a lucrative investment for the listeners. So, in terms of goals, in terms of the next 3 to 5 years, on your perspective now as a doctor and with the IV therapy, what new inventions would you like to see with the IV therapy in regards to something that's, like a new case study that you may be working on, or other physicians that are working with you on this product to be able to make it even more enhanceable?
So I would really love to see the availability of certain ingredients expand in Ontario. So we are located in Ontario, and the way that it works in Canada, as I'm sure it does in the USA as well, every province or every state has various regulations towards what is permissible and what is not permissible in terms of medications as well as injectables. So there's quite a variability in Canada from province to province as to which ingredients can be used. And unfortunately, the political climate in Ontario is such that many of ingredients that are being used in case studies and in current scientific literature, we do not have currently access to in Ontario yet. So I'm hoping that within the next few years, it would be great to see some of those added to the list that we can use, because there are many new injectables that have, various benefits for cancer treatments, for anti-aging, for detoxification, that we're just not able to get our hands on yet in Ontario. I know some provinces such as British Columbia and states such as California offer it. But unfortunately, we do not have it yet in Ontario. So I am looking forward to, in the next few years, that we can expand our repertoire of various ingredients that we can use.
Oh, wow. That is so great. That is so great. And so even with the product being in Canada, it's still available, for the U.S. And as you stated, things are different. But I'm pretty sure that the audience can be able to still relate. That is so great. And so with the last couple of questions, Dr. Yelena, what would you like to leave as far as an encouragement or what have you, as to the audience of how they can benefit from what it is that you have to share with the IV therapy? What is it that you would like to leave with the listeners?
Well, I would definitely like to encourage the listeners to try this therapy for themselves, whether they be in the U.S. or Canada. There are many clinics that are now offering it. However, my word of caution is, as the treatment is becoming more popular, there are many IV bars or quote-unquote various types of, spas that may be offering this treatment. It is still considered a medical treatment. So I've heard from some patients, like in Las Vegas, you can get an IV drip on a bus, I believe. There's like a hangover IV bus that drives around. I would really like to discourage people from, having this treatment in any type of non-accredited institution, because you do want to make sure that there is a doctor on site, that you do have a proper consultation with the doctor that is very knowledgeable in IV therapy, that is all able to customize the treatment to your unique health needs. And this really is going to ensure that you have the best treatment outcomes. So you will receive all of the benefits, and it is a medical treatment, so minimize any risks, because you never know, where you might be having this treatment done, how well knowledgeable they are, what type of sterilization practices they use. As this is becoming more popular, there's a lot of places that might not always be up to medical standards. So do your research prior to going in, making sure that this is a place that really knows what they're doing in terms of IV therapies.
Great. So with the last question, we would like to ask, how can the audience and the listeners follow up with you, to be able to follow you on any of your social media platforms, your website, and to be able to obtain further information from your products and services that you offer, and any upcoming master classes or webinars that you have to teach and train a little bit thorough on this? You can share that at this time with the audience.
Oh, great. We do have quite a lot of information about IV therapy and the various types of IV therapy on our website. Our website is www.therapies, timelesshealthclinic.com. So you can read up on all of the various ingredients that we use, what IV therapy is great at treating it. So just learn more about what are the different offerings. And we are also quite active on social media. So you can follow us on Instagram at timeless_health_clinic or on Facebook at Timeless Health Clinic. So that would be us on our social media.
Great. We had an awesome time with you on today, Dr. Yelena, of sharing all of these tools and resources, and also the effects and benefits of your product and brand, and the pros and cons of making sure that the patient or the individual that is interested is making sure they're taking precaution as well. That was so awesome because, as I stated in the beginning of the broadcast, when I saw the word IV, you think of, you're going to the hospital or something like that with a needle, but this is awesome. And so, of course, we wish you the very, very best with the products and services that you have to offer. So, listeners, you have gotten all of the core of what Dr. Yelena had to share with you in regards to this type of therapy. And so for all of the upcoming events, you can go to our website at www.womenwhorockwithsuccess.com. So thank you so much, Dr. Yelena, for being our guest on the broadcast on today.
Thank you. It has been my pleasure.
Okay, great.